6th grade dances and you're in the grind line.
Yeah.
You
That's when you start getting the
the grind line. Just
get the grind.
No.
Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We are still in Wisconsin. We got myself, Dan, Frankie, and Trent. We just played the Lido, which is going to dominate a lot of this conversation. We had a ton of chatter leading up to it. The history, Long Island, Frankie, the entire deal. We just finished playing it. I will say that just walking golf courses in general is underratedly exhausting, I think.
Our feet are all sore.
I think everyone is just pretty beat up from walking like 3 rounds of golf.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. Yeah.
if we didn't have and this is going to sound like an ad, and in some ways it is, but we have these new G4 shoes on.
They're nice.
G112s. If we didn't have these, I don't know that I would have survived because my feet are sore. We walked a very hard golf course today. Hard in difficulty, hard in legitimate softness and hard. Like it was actually tough ground. And my toes hurt. I don't know why. I started walking on my toes today. Just I guess to like, I don't know.
You're focusing on your toes and each step?
No, I don't know if it was just like my heel was hurting from walking all the last couple days and I just like moved my weight onto my toes, but my toes were burning at the end of that round today. We can get into the round. Phenomenal stuff. The Lido.
Yeah. I mean, you loved it. We all loved it. But
I think it vaulted into my top 5 of all time.
because we talked a little bit during the video today, but you've been talking about this golf course for 5 years.
Here's the thing that you have to remember about this course. CB McDonald, 1910s or 20s, whatever it ended up being. We have all the history in the video that's going to be coming out. If that golf course at that time didn't get overtaken by a naval yard and like a landing strip and all the things that happened to it in Long Beach on Long Island, right by the Borelli's Tap Room, new spot. Make sure you go check it out. Mm-hmm. If that never happened, the Lido on Long Island would have been and was at the time known as a top 5 golf course in the world, I think. It was like Augusta, Cypress, Pine Valley, and the Lido. All the architects, they all got hard on this CB McDonald golf course on Long Island. He got to do whatever he wanted. They just gave him a bunch of sand, a bunch of land, and he's like, I'm going to go crazy at this place, and it's going to be my greatest creation. They called it like the world's best lost golf course or something like that. So now...
And then the war happened.
So now when you're playing that golf course today...
The planet was at war with each other.
If that course just stayed... The world. If that course just stayed where it was and didn't have all that things happen to it, the course we played today is essentially a recreation of a top 5 golf course in the world. And it's to the exact specs.
Yeah. There was like 1 or 2 things that weren't the same, but they made a note to tell you that they had changed it. Like there was one where we were walking by and he was like, the green was on the right side. And he's like, actually, the green would have been closer. It would have been. So they had like a little plateau just right of the fairway to show you where the green would have been. So yeah, I mean, they did this with science. This wasn't just like eyeballing it and being like, okay, like this looks like a dog leg left. It's like they went into the topography and made sure that like all of the scaling was correct.
So much so that they used AI robotic bulldozers and like excavators.
That blew me away.
They legitimately would send these robotic excavators in there and it would just shave into these mounds exactly to the 10th like centimeter. The exact topography of the original Lido.
It's kind of a feat of engineering and architecture just as much as it is.
We played a 100-year-old golf course today that just opened in June.
And it felt that way too. Like having I've played a number of those old McDonald courses and it has that same feel with like.
Did he have a farm?
What'd you say?
Old McDonald had a farm. He's making
that was good. Yeah,
a child nursery rhyme.
But with like the behind the green and like the vertical drop offs into the bunkers where the ball gets like hung up, like you can have those crazy uphill lies and the fescue fairways. It felt very old, and I think we were talking in our group that it was like it feels like a different resort almost than Sand Valley and Mammoth Dunes because it's a different. You got to drive out. It's a different clubhouse. It's way less dramatic. It's a lot flatter. There aren't really trees involved. It just felt like its own entity, which I thought was a really cool change up from the last couple of days.
Yeah, overall very flat property that they made insanely interesting. And as we kind of touched on a little bit today, we will in the video, but as guys that self-admittedly are not into architecture, golf course architecture at all, we even like kind of loop the people that are in with golf Twitter and like snobbery around golf and what. There are instances where I think even if you don't know shit about it, you can look at and be like, this this artistry combined with, the sport of golf on this giant canvas that's a golf course, like, this matters. Like, this is really, really cool what they did. It reminded me a little bit of Tobacco Road, where it's like there were some shots you hit where you're looking at it, such a dramatic shot you have to hit. That is purely because the way they just designed it. It wasn't like that. It wasn't laying there. It was flat when it was laying there. And they, CB Macdonald clearly designed it in a way where you've got to hit over this giant dune, or you've got to hit to this elevated, crazy green that's got like a big punch bowl. And doing that over and over again and walking onto a tee where you're like, this is a golf hole unlike any hole I've ever seen before, is rare. It's like you don't get that in golf.
And that's the artistry, because there were holes yesterday at Mammoth Dunes, which is a much different, much more dramatic property, where you're almost like, it almost looks like the hole was like kind of already there. Like, it's going up and turns around a bunch of trees. They definitely cut trees, but it looks much more built in, where you were right. This was a blank canvas that they created all of those. Like, that punch bowl was so cool, and you can see just the top of the flagstick, and you know that they had a thumbprint, they had a Redan, there was an Alps hole, a long. Yeah. I am a little nerdy on that stuff, and I was really leaned into it today.
Could you see more places doing something like this? Not even like Lido was a lost golf course, but let's say you get the topography of Augusta National, and you got a bunch of land, and you got a resort opening up. Let's repeat it.
It's an interesting question. It's like an intellectual property question.
Right. GPS those bulldozers, baby. Let's make an Augusta National in Michigan.
I mean, there's never been a course that's been more documented than that one.
That's right.
So they have all the three, that's actually a really interesting question.
Turning golf courses into like chain restaurants.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's insane. You could play like Pebble Beach, like 4 different places around the country. Yeah.
Think about that.
Bro, Augusta should license that golf course around the world.
You put an Augusta in Dubai, you could
charge. It obviously takes away from it, right? In 1,000 years from now, you're going to be mad that you did that because the history of the one place sucks. But I mean,
you could charge
probably started with one
$20,000.
TGI Fridays, I bet.
Yeah,
they're like, what if we put these?
There was one Buffalo Wild Wings. You could probably, if you put an Augusta National in like Dubai, you could probably charge like $25,000.
Dude, and then if those people were like the McDonald's founder was, they could just eventually slowly trick the world to being like, no, we founded Augusta National. Yeah. This is the real Augusta.
Right.
Like in 400 years,
the Raising Cane's CEO to go to Augusta and talk to him about how they spread their entire like.
Let's talk about franchising.
Yeah.
No, if all it takes is GPS bulldozers, a bunch of land, and a lot of money, you can put any golf course anywhere.
That's a good point. It's never going to happen, but I really like where your head's at. Yeah. That's really interesting. That got me thinking.
It's a good little like law hypothetical.
And if you look at like what they did at Whistling Straits, like Whistling Straits was just a flat field.
Yeah.
And they created all of that at Whistling Straits. And if you look at what they did there and you look at what they did here at the Lido, you're like, if they did find the same amount of land in Michigan, like you said, be like, all right, give us 2 or 3 years. We're just going to move all of the dirt around and create Augusta National. It's just going to be Augusta National.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
There's definitely some golf architects right now that are like pulling their hair out.
Big time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad for them, but it would be significant.
Chevrolet is a trusted brand with innovation and scale. Chevrolet has been trusted with transportation needs for the last 100 years. Actually, I thought that said 1,000 years at first. I was about to be like, wow.
That would be a very, very long time.
What would they have been doing 1,000 years ago?
Right. Here's this. What was going on 1,000 years ago? I have no idea.
Middle Ages?
It's bad. Magna Carta was coming soon, but it wasn't
the Jay-Z album?
Yep. That's right. That's right.
I wouldn't say coming soon. It was coming.
Yeah.
Almost 900 something years.
No. Oh, the Jay-Z album. Yeah, it was a little behind.
We're
it's about to drop.
We're driving. We've got a Chevy here. We're driving all around Wisconsin in that thing, and couldn't be more comfortable. Couldn't be having a better time. Just a very reliable vehicle, no matter where you're at.
They've been doing the EV, the electric vehicles for a decade. They've been perfecting it, and they've done an amazing job. I was also just thinking with the bow tie and how iconic it is. They didn't logo things, I feel like, until relatively recently in history. Like, I feel like in ancient Rome, like the carriages didn't have like logos on them of like, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe they did. Maybe they had like the signature of the smith who made it.
But I feel like we never see that. Like, there weren't brands. Like, people weren't building brands.
There definitely weren't like raising canes type situations.
Yeah. Right?
Right. I think so.
Like I just feel like whenever they recreate Rome or whatever in like in a movie or anything there's never logos,
There's no Starbucks
of brands.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The only logo, and this is not the same thing as, and I'm getting this from Game of Thrones, like the seal on an envelope.
Yeah.
Where you candle wax and you hit it like a
Yeah.
Lannister.
Yeah, like crests, family crests.
Yeah.
And like flags of nations and
Banners is a big
Banners, I
thing.
guess. But I feel like businesses didn't have like logos.
Well, there was no free market. It was just the banner was the business.
But they kind of had businesses, like the Silk Road and all that
Guinness
shit.
World Records recognizes Tate and Lyle of Lyle's Golden Syrup as Britain and the world's oldest branding and packaging, with its green and gold packaging having remained almost unchanged since 1885.
That's not that long.
See, that's late. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's late. That's it.
That's
a good pull.
that's crazy.
That's
That
a
the
good pull
first
there.
brand was 1885.
Well, we're talking about brands and Chevy.com/electric. That brand, iconic. They've been doing it for a long time, over 100 years. Now they're doing it in the EV game. So do yourself a favor. Go learn more at Chevy.com/electric. That is Chevy.com/electric. I was blown away at the Lido. I didn't really know what to expect. We've all played some courses that are like, you hear about the Biarritz and the template holes in a Redan, and part of me's always thought like it's a little unoriginal that one of the more cherished things in golf course architecture is that they just copy holes all over the place, which is sort of what we're talking about. But like, there's like a Redan here, and it's like, well, how come they just take holes like an Eden? Why do they just get to take holes that like people created at the beginning and recreate them somewhere, and that's considered awesome? Today it was pretty fucking awesome.
It's like, well, the shot. I mean, not to spoil anything, but into the Redan, one of the people in your group. I mean, that's just such a rewarding shot. There's a reason it's been gone to over and over again. You got to hit that little draw, and it's got to land in the right spot. And if you go too far right, you'll still have a putt. If you go too far left, like there's a reason that they work. They put you in where it's a very clear shot that you have to hit, but you're going to be nervous at the miss. So I just think it's a tried formula.
I can't even fathom that course on the Atlantic Ocean.
No, that's the only thing it was missing. So here's the thing. So I'm putting in my top 5. Obviously, I'm a big emotions guy. Every time I walk off a golf course, I say it's the best thing of all time. Genuinely, with the hype going into it, the PGA Tour 2K21, the fact that this guy built the golf course in the video game. They took all the specs from the video game, gave them the idea to build this. We had played the Lido for years in PGA Tour 2K.
Yeah.
Playing it today in real life really blew me away. I will say that I leave there saying I don't know why they couldn't just do that where Lido Golf Club is right now, where the original Lido was. It's very similar, and this has happened to me now twice in my life, where this was one of my favorite golf courses, and the New York Islanders are my favorite hockey team. They built a fantastic state-of-the-art, world-class arena. But they didn't do it where the Coliseum was. They did it 20 miles closer to the city, and they did it in Belmont. It drives me crazy. Like why couldn't we just do it where it worked?
You have a conundrum going on where you're like, they took our golf course that was in Long Island
and they moved it to Wisconsin.
Just moved
And now, I really like that golf course, and I'll go back to it and I'll play it a lot. But I wish it was fucking down the road.
So sign up the 2K guy and build your own.
I wish it was
Long
down the
Island.
road where it originally was. I wish UBS Arena was at the Coliseum location.
Everything
because
that you
the Coliseum
love-
location was incredible.
Everything that you love is moving away from you.
Just slightly away. This is further for sure. It's Wisconsin. It's like a 2.5 hour flight. I'm just, yeah. I think they have way less land now where the Lido Golf Club is, because Lido is still a golf course. It's a public track. I played there growing up. I played there a lot growing up. It was a very special public golf course to go play with my dad because we were getting on the water. You feel the salt hit your face. You're like, holy shit, we're not at Eisenhower anymore. This is pretty cool.
Is it like a rundown version of the original, or is it totally
Yeah, I'd have
new?
to go back. Now that I've seen this, I'd have to go back and see if any of the routing is even similar. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't look anything like this, but there are some fantastic holes at Lido Golf Club. There's some fantastic, like split fairways around water where like you can go left, you can go right, but there's water right in the middle of it on a par 5. Really cool stuff, but it's public. It's not what we saw today at all. It's not that like Scottish style.
What's your third favorite thing?
I don't know.
Okay, because I'd be concerned.
Yeah.
I'm just looking out for
I
you.
don't know what my third favorite thing is.
Okay,
It might
probably
move
probably better to not name it.
Yeah,
because it's
might
gonna move away from
move
you.
away from me. Yeah, I was gonna say like pussy. I don't know. Like, just just turned gay.
Pussy's pretty good.
Just turned gay. I'm only saying that because Jersey Jerry said that yesterday. Someone asked Jersey Jerry,
Lurched
"What's
it.
your favorite thing in the world?" He just goes, "Pussy." It's incredible.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, no. So
You don't have to think about it too hard.
No,
I was
I'm
a
not.
joke,
I'm
but-
just I'm just a little bit upset about the fact that we had that course, and then a lot of things happened in the world, and it kind of got messed up, and it's here now.
Hitler screwed you.
Hitler screwed us.
Screwed me
time.
too.
He
Again.
did.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah, he screwed me.
We stayed in a place that was, what was the name of our Airbnb?
Eagle's Nest.
Eagle's Nest, which
Yeah.
was Hitler's cabin.
Really?
He built like
Like a bunker.
No, it wasn't a bunker. It was if you there's like a documentary on YouTube about it. He built this very nice place that him and all his fucking generals and people would go to with their families and hang out, and they call it the Eagle's Nest. But I think that's a pretty common terminology for a house.
While my people were burning in ovens, they were doing that.
Fuck that
Right.
guy.
We're
that's a bad guy.
anti-Hitler.
We're an anti-Hitler podcast.
Yeah.
time.
I thought what was
Shit
cool was so they have memberships to the Lido. You can become a member.
Yeah.
But they said it's sort of, at least right now, it's sort of the British, Scottish template where there are members, but they share the golf course with the public.
Is it like an auction thing or not an auction? Like do you get like a ticket in the morning or something to go play Lido, or can you like book it in advance?
You can book it. There's I think it's Monday through Thursday. Like,
It'd be cool if they did like you got to wake up and like sign up.
yeah.
Sort of like St. Andrews, where like you just get in the lottery.
I think the resort guests can book it Monday through Thursday. There's a couple blocks of time. So you know, Saturday morning is going to be all members, and the weekend's going to be. But you can play it. So I think it's a
10
cool,
to like 1 or something like that.
yeah, but it's a
on, like,
cool
those
model
others.
because
Right.
all those golf courses that that they have the Open Championships at over in England and in Scotland, they're private in the sense of they have members, but you can play. There are certain areas that you can play, and I think that's a model that should become more common.
That's a way better model than just
no-
close it up. Nobody can come.
Right, and it's just there's these courses where there's just no play, and it's like there's no reason that you couldn't open it up. Besides obviously everyone wants to keep their own place. I just think it was a cool model.
Yeah.
Not kidding. If you have the urge or you want to tickle your fancy with that type of golf, the St. Andrews, the Carnoustie, the Prestwick type of golf, you have it right here in Wisconsin. I'm telling you, we've been to Scotland. I think I enjoyed that golf course today more than any course I played in Scotland. I think it was perfect.
We talked a little bit about it on the course, Riggs. Remind me of Western Gales.
Western Gales, big time. Couldn't agree more.
It just doesn't have the surrounding views. It doesn't have the ocean.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the old town that St. Andrews has. It just has trees because it's just built in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. That's the only thing that sucks.
And I thought, I feel like we're experiencing what people have claimed for a long time, but that's true, that we didn't necessarily believe or buy into, which is that like when you first get into golf and you're like, I want a course with views, baby. That's pretty much it. And you're kind of like, that's going to trounce everything. And it matters. Views are fucking awesome. But you also learn that like the course is really built in a really sick way by somebody that was talented with the vision and with the architecture and with all whatever the hell all that is, those intangibles. Like a course can be better that has no views than a course that just has views. And I think we've all kind of like evolved in that.
That's probably my number one non-view golf course I ever played.
Yeah.
Because
even
I still
Payne's
think Payne's
had
Valley has
views.
views. I still think Shinnecock in its own way has views. You can see the whole entire golf course.
Yeah.
The iconic like Shinnecock fescue, like you can just see it the whole entire way up to the clubhouse. I think that still constitutes as a view. Today, when you were on your hole, you were on your hole. Maybe like the first and the ninth kind of combine, and you could see two at a time. But you felt like each hole was its own thing. I wouldn't say that there were views out there at all.
No.
No.
If
Like,
anything,
at
it
all.
kind of created its own like really cool intimate views with like the little canals
Yeah,
that are around and
I mean,
stuff.
they're missing the Atlantic Ocean
Yeah. Yeah.
and the Channel. That's why I'm saying I don't think they could do it where the Long Island one is right now, because it's in such a tighter spot. If they're telling me that this Lido golf club that we played today went all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, right now in that same spot is Marvell ice cream, which I brought Trent to the other day.
Delicious.
Soft served ice cream, absolute legendary ice cream spot. Like Lido, the Lido in Long Island doesn't even go across the street where all the houses are on the ocean. So you would have to overtake all that.
That's the
stuff.
problem. Is you have to basically buy up like a whole town.
You have to buy up Yeah, the whole entire street of just houses, condos, restaurants, ice cream.
Can't get rid of Marvell at this point.
Can't get rid of Marvell. Phenomenal.
Really good. Everyone else got a small. I got a medium.
So we opened up this tap room in Long Beach, and I try and keep an eye on my dad. He's working a lot. He stresses out, and he stress eats. He's picking at the dough. He's picking at bread all day. He's eating pizza at the restaurant. He's been doing it for 60 years. And we always used to go to Marvell, and we went down to Long Beach, and I was like, Dad, now that you have this tap room and you're always there, you cannot keep stopping at Marvell and having ice cream every single night. It's not like, you can't end a stressful day with a huge thing of pistachio ice cream and peanuts, which he gets on it.
Yes, you can, Mr. Braley.
And one day I'm there, me and Hannah, they were sitting down, and you know, it's like a Friday night, and we were gonna get out of there early, and he's like getting out of there early. It's like 10 o'clock. And he goes, where are you guys going? I'm like, well, we're just going to go home. And he goes, you're not stopping to Marvell? I said, nope, neither are you. He goes, okay, I won't. So we're driving down, and it's like 5 minutes away. And I'm like, fuck, I'm pulling into Marvell. Are you fucking crazy? I'm 29 years old. I can eat this ice cream. It's fine. And I pull in. I'm like, there's no way he's going to see me. So we look around. He went, to my knowledge, he went home. So I'm like all happy. I turn the corner at Marvell, and who's at the fucking counter? My dad. And he's got the biggest fucking smile on his face there, handing him the pistachio already. I don't even know how he got around me. I left 10 minutes before him. And he's sitting there. He just eats the ice cream cone. He goes, good night. And just walks away. He's just eating there every single night.
That's fine.
No, we got to stop it.
Lido's great.
It is great. But you can't get rid of Marvell.
No, never.
One of the coolest courses I've ever played.
It really is.
I mean,
firm as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was saying, don't you think like a Tiger Woods or an elite golfer would love to play that place today and like be able to shape their shots around and hit the front of the green and really show how creative you can be, as opposed to just playing target, just fucking plop, zip it back, and just make a birdie golf.
It reminded me of like Royal Melbourne when they were there for the President's Cup, where you going in, they were like, these guys get to showcase their artistry a little bit with the golf ball. And that was when Tiger was like the best he's ever played.
Yeah.
And he, even though he only played he ended up playing 3 matches instead of 5. Everybody went nuts for that. But
that whole day.
when he was hitting these little pitches from 40 yards that landed way short and like took the hill, and he was flighting them, and he was hitting the high draws and high cuts, I think you're right. I think it was like his brain and his ability to move the ball, which he bitches a lot about how equipment's taking that away, and that like guys now are all able to kind of be bunched together because the technology allows you to just hit it straight. Where there, he was able to kind of open it up in order to get the ball close to those pin locations. He was really able to kind of access that part of his skill, and it was fucking sick.
I don't want to speak for the guy, but I think if you put Tiger Woods from like 7,200 yards at that place today, I think he has an all-time day.
He would love it.
He loves
that style.
He would fucking go crazy about the architecture, all the template greens, all that bullshit that everyone loves. He would fucking geek out at that place.
Yeah, it's the width combined with the firmness, I think, because the firmness, if it's not firm, you obviously like can't play those shots where you run it up. But also, it's wide enough to allow you to do that. So like a lot of times, the good golf courses in the U.S. really firm, but they're narrow. Yeah. So it's like you're not going to play like a swing and draw, because if it misses and it hits and it's in the rough, like you're dead. So there's space to actually do it.
We had never seen the course. We had a couple really good caddies with us. Slim.
They had good vibes, those guys.
I don't know why I called him Slime. Did I
Slim?
What's up, Slime?
Slim and Pete.
Did I tweet out
Well,
Slime?
we never got his real name.
Did I tweet out Slim or Slime?
Slim was calling him Pete,
All right,
Ricky.
Slim. Thank God.
But I didn't believe, outside of the advice that they were giving us on the golf course, which was great, I didn't believe anything else that they said.
Well, Slim came out to me and he goes, Ricky, which was not even his name, the other caddy, he goes, you guys aren't putting this video out, right? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh shit. He's like, you're gonna have to blur out Ricky's face. He's like, he can't be on the internet. And I was like, are you serious? And he let that go for 2 holes. I was like telling people in the group, I'm like, man, this guy's like a wanted criminal.
Slim said to you, he goes, you know, as my dad always used to say when I was sucking, you can't miss every fucking putt.
No, I missed.
We were like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, no, he was hilarious.
What else did he lie to you about? Didn't he say something about like that? Yeah, that green's actually
it's
not
the third smallest on the course.
It's a huge green. He goes, guys, this is the third smallest green on the property. And I was telling everyone. He goes, I was just making that up. I was like, that's such a weird thing to make up.
It's very oddly specific,
dude. There was one part where we were like in a footprint and in the sand, and he's like, let's just take that out, and it was like underneath this little bush, and I pulled it out and moved it behind the footprint, and he goes, yeah, we have to get it away from that bush. He goes, it's like a special bush. And then I was like, all right, well, now where we just moved it, I'm standing in the same type of bush. He said it's an endangered species, he told me. And I said, holy shit. So now I'm standing over this bush and I'm not stepping in it. And he goes, what are you doing? I'm like, well, you said it's an endangered species. He goes, it's a fucking bush. He goes, it's not a fucking
This guy had you guessing all
Bro,
day.
I was standing like this on a 180-yard shot. And he goes, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I can't put my foot in it. He's like, it's a bush.
Exhaustion is the key. I think we're all feeling exhausted right now. BioLite. BioLite's going to help you in that situation, whether you're drinking currently, whether you drank last night. You want to be hydrated. You need to get rehydrated after you have dehydrated yourself. BioLite is unlike any other hydration drink out there. It is IV in a bottle. It is the only clinical hydration drink with as many electrolytes as an IV bag. Do you guys know that?
I did know that.
Probably because we've talked about it a few times.
I know it because I
the
felt
people
it.
probably didn't know that.
The people listening?
Yeah.
Right. They didn't know that. That's why we just told them. We're talking serious hydration, all caps, the word serious. Serious hydration power here. It's true. If you do drink one BioLite, it's the same amount of electrolytes as 6.5 sports drinks. And in 30 minutes, you'll feel just like you do if you got hooked up to an IV, if they just went through that whole process, which is a hell of a process.
I could have used one today. We didn't have one out there at the Lido, but I took a urination afterwards, and I was just not that hydrated.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can connect the dots there, but yeah, I could have used a BioLite.
Too much color.
Yeah.
BioLite. When water is not enough, they've also making a bunch of delicious flavors now. So for a limited time, use the code MELON to get 15% off your next order of BioLite at drinkbiolite.com. That's MELON, MELON, drinkbiolite.com, 15% off your next order.
Can plants be endangered?
Are they species?
Yeah.
Plants are species?
Yeah. Plants
Yeah.
are species for sure. Invasive species they talk about with plants all the time.
Okay,
Like
so maybe he was
weeds.
right.
Yeah.
But that's like endangered species of like this plant's
Why
going to
can't
go
you just-
away.
Well, the invasive ones have got to be eating the cake from
I got a
somebody
question.
else.
Why can't you just plant more?
They got the technology.
That's a good
you need seeds.
stuff for me to figure that
So
out.
some of these plants don't produce seeds, and once they're done, they're gone.
I will say I'm asking the question: Is are plants endangered? Because I've never heard that in my life.
Same.
I don't know for sure. I just have to
Are
think
trees
that there
and trees are
protected-
endangered, right? Like the rainforest.
Yeah, I think there's certain trees you can't cut down, right?
Definitely.
I got one in my town. They say if I cut it down, I'm gonna get kicked out of the town.
It's like a historic tree.
Yeah, it's a tree that just hangs over my driveway, and they're like, "Good luck trying to cut that thing down. We'll come and cut your head off." It's
Yeah.
like a 200-year tree.
And you'd
It's got a
love
hole,
to cut it.
It's got a hole in it.
Would you
And
love
there's-
to cut
and
it?
my neighbor says that the squirrels are getting in it, and they're pissing and shitting down the tree, and it's gonna rot the tree out, and the tree's gonna fall
Is that
Onto your house?
at some point. Yeah,
so? Do you want it to fall, but you just don't want it to fall on your house?
I would love to just take the tree out.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't have to worry about it falling on your house.
Correct.
So you want it
They
to
don't
be
want-
visibly dead, so that they have to take it out as a safety.
I think I have to have a whole
precaution.
meeting, and I got to go to like the town court, and I don't want to do any
What
of that
did
stuff.
that-
I just
That's
want
what you have
the
to
tree
do.
down.
In Pinehurst, you have to do that, and you have to get, I believe it's a $500 license to take down a tree, and they have
I
to
think
like,
they should take the
approve
tree down.
it. Right. It's a
What did-
liability.
What did that guy do? I forget the specifics of it. Big college football fans poisoned a rival's
Auburn. Was it Auburn?
Was it Toomey, the Toomey or whatever?
something like that.
They
where-
always fill the tree with like
Paper.
toilet paper.
Yes.
and
it
he
was one of
poisoned
those.
those trees. So you could poison the tree.
My luck, it'll just come crashing down on everything I own.
Right. True.
I think that guy went to like prison.
I think he did.
I already got enough going on with the house. Yeah, that conversation we had with Jersey Jerry about the fucking houses exploding with natural gas has rattled.
Doing nothing wrong.
Turn on a light switch.
Yeah. Turn on a light switch.
I looked up all night last
220
night
volts.
if there are detectors for natural gas leaks, and there's really not a good one.
No.
They say that smell is the only thing that can detect it. Like whatever the detection is doesn't really take in natural gas. It just kind of goes out into the atmosphere. You need to be able to smell that agent that's in there.
Got to train your nose.
Not good.
So imagine before any time you enter your home and turn on a light switch, you have to do a smell.
What if you just walk in the house and you just like hadn't been there like I am? I haven't been there in days. She sometimes sleeps with her parents when I'm like I'm away for a week. So what if that just happens for a week?
Make her turn the light
Go
off
back
when you
in
get back.
and just turn the light on. It's just boom.
That was
Sorry,
so loud.
Bush.
Well, you ever see the video in Pennsylvania? It was
Oh,
loud.
yeah.
That was bad. That was really bad.
Nuclear bomb.
Few people died in that. That was
Five.
bad.
Unfortunately, yeah.
5 people.
It's a
Yeah, that was
nightmare.
bad.
So is the gas company? it's not like a
They're
live
gonna
for
do like
your own
they said
risk
it's gonna be
here,
like
right?
a 10-year investigation on like what happened there.
But they're
like
gonna
how
get,
that happened.
they're gonna get paid for like not them. They're obviously dead, but I'm saying like the gas company's liable for that.
You know,
You don't know.
We don't know. It's 10-year investigation. But I
Talk
can't
to you in
imagine
10 years.
who else would be liable.
Yeah. I just want to know if it's like there's some level of safety guaranteed.
I want to say the CEO came out and said we checked everything, everything's fine.
Oh my god!
And people are like, well, I mean,
imagine their families, and he's
House
like, "What do
exploded.
you mean you fucked up?"
like seriously exploded.
Dude, your stove, if you have that thing on for
Ooh.
I know like my grandma was at our house once and just like had the gas stove on. She had no idea that you heard that
yeah,
and then you just leave it. You just
one
think
little spark from something.
you have 4 little burners, one of them doesn't work, quote unquote, because like you thought that it didn't get a flame. You go on to the 4th one, you cook your shit, you leave. That first one's been fucking hissing for hours. Come on in, you smoke a cigarette, boom.
What is
Not good.
Cigs inside.
Cigs inside?
Cigs
That's-
Have you ever
That's
ripped a
Frankie's
cig?
biggest concern.
Have you ever ripped a cig inside?
We used to do it all the
Oh my
time
gosh,
in
yeah.
college.
You have?
Yeah.
We used to do it all the time in college on the 3rd floor of my house.
We had we used to go to this house where it was where the cool parents, like where they would let the kids pretty much do everything.
Yep.
In the basement there, we just ripped heaters.
That's a level of disregard for their children's health that I can't get behind.
It was
from
the
parents.
best house ever.
You smoking weed in the basement? That's cool. If they know
did
that
that
you're ripping
too.
cigs inside their basement, that's a little dark.
Well, I also remember. Well, it
What else
wasn't.
did you do in that basement?
Nothing.
Don't worry about it, dude. That's statute of limitations. Got to
That's HIPAA. That's HIPAA.
That is HIPAA.
That's HIPAA.
Let's move on. Cigs inside is good though. That's why I miss the era of, and I don't smoke cigs, but I have smoked cigarettes before. And there was like a 6-month period where I was a cigarette smoker. But smoking in bars, I missed that whole thing because they made it illegal by the time I started drinking.
Is
going
it
to
illegal
bars.
across the whole country?
No, St. Louis, there's, I believe very recently in maybe St. Charles County, which is the county I'm from, they might have just made it illegal, but it still might be legal in certain bars. Because I know there are bars we go to within the last couple of years where people rip darts.
That's
Chaos that
awesome.
it used to, like Borelli's used to have a smoking section.
Yeah. Every restaurant
I know.
did.
It's just
It's smoke.
You just if you don't it's such a pussy like side of it because the cigs people are cool, but like
The coolest.
like
They're so cool.
It's a
if
cool
you're
thing.
not a cigarette smoker, it's just a lot to have that like put onto you if you're just going out.
No.
to
When I was
have
saying,
dinner.
when I said it's smoke, I'm saying what you're saying. Where
Oh, yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
no barrier.
No,
that's
no,
gonna
it's
stop the
crazy.
smoke.
Like I'm just eating pizza and I got like people just ripping cigs. Like that.
a
takes
restaurant's a different thing. A bar, I love a smoky bar, but
I think you got to keep a couple smoking bars around.
I agree.
Cigarette culture in Asia is wild. When I went to Japan,
They rip.
They rip.
heaters,
I went to
don't they?
Japan for a work. I went to that Zozo, that Tiger one actually, and I just remember everyone would. There's like they have these little restaurants that are like 3 people that you sit on at the bar and you just drink beer and smoke rip cigarettes all night in the restaurants. It's like that way. There's a lot of places in Europe like that too. The cigarette. U.S. has got one of like the strictest anti-cigarette laws.
So my hometown, St. Charles County, it says that in 2018 it was passed that it's restricted in all indoor enclosed establishments. However, there are places that can meet or get granted an exemption.
All right, so
And
an old-timer bar.
Some grandfathered in bars is probably one of the keys for an exemption, and you just which I like because people know. It's not like you go in there and you're
there's
like
some places that
at fucking
need to have it.
Applebee's and you're like, what is this? Like if you
one of
go
the
to these
places-
bars, dude, you know it's
You're going to smoke.
house.
In
Oh, yeah.
Boston, that Bell in Hand place, that's like the oldest bar in
Yeah.
America. It's
Yeah.
like 1790. That place, when you walk in there, smoke should be like hitting you when you walk in.
Yeah.
Old mahogany wood type shit, dark. They barely have any light in there. Ripping heaters.
There's got to be places you should be able to smoke cigarettes inside some bars.
Yeah.
Because that's like,
Casinos, I feel like casinos
You can
are
smoke inside.
are still
Casinos,
doing it.
yeah,
right?
we did that. Shout out to Riverside. We would go there all the time and do that. Mm-hmm. Play blackjack, smoke cigarettes, drink Jack and Cokes.
just sticks to you.
The whole
Smell.
every Vegas, the whole lobby smells like cigarettes, which
Yeah.
is crazy because they have every air filtration technology you could possibly have, and it still just all smells like smoke.
Yeah, I just have fond memories of cigarette smoke. When my parents would go to St. Andrews in Cedar Rapids, the real home of golf. That in that clubhouse you could smoke and they would drink there, and then they'd come home and everyone would smell like smoke.
Yeah.
And I was like, those are my parents.
Yeah. You just feel them.
It's tough on a trip when you get one outfit that gets dominated by that, because then when you put it in your bag with all your other it's over.
Well, that's like a bonfire.
I made that
Yes.
mistake with a bonfire once.
Oh.
On a trip,
Yeah.
sat around a bonfire, went to my bag, took all the clothes off, knew I was leaving in like 2 or 3 days, so I took those clothes, put them in the suitcase with all the other clothes.
Mistake.
Never made
You know
that
where I
mistake
made that
again.
mistake was after we got pied by Scottie Scheffler repeatedly.
Still makes me want to
I made the
vomit.
mistake. It wasn't pie. It was just
Whipped cream.
Oh.
I made the mistake of
my
packing
God.
one of
Sucked.
those shirts. So there was like 2 pants that were totally clean. I would keep washing them, and they would just every time I'd wear them, I'd just be like, "It fucking smells like
Speaking of that, we have a
rotten
call with
whipped cream."
We have a call with Mike Essie tonight. I just thought of that.
Oh yeah, what time's that at?
5:30. TaylorMade guy.
5:30. Mike Assey from TaylorMade.
Yep.
We're going to be on the road.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay.
Shoot the shit. Love talking to Mike.
We're gonna be on our way to Erin Hills.
We are. It's an aggressive trip to Erin Hills. We've done a lot this week. We've already got 6 videos in the can. We're going to Erin Hills. We're gonna get more.
My legs are going to fall off.
Yeah, it's a lot of walking. That's the thing.
You guys didn't tell me that it was a no carts place until we got here.
I believe all the Kaiser properties are no carts.
Makes
So
sense.
Bandon, Cabot, here, Stream Song, I think he had his hand in. Those places are like no carts. Stream Song might have carts some of the year. I can't remember. But anyways,
All,
it is a different world when you just can't take a cart the whole time.
I prefer a cart.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still a great place, but I prefer a cart.
yeah, all-time week shout out to Brendan Jones, who's been doing this, and then we started the week in Myrtle Beach, and he came to Florida with me. So he's been Myrtle Beach, Florida, straight into this Wisconsin trip.
He hasn't been home.
I think he was home for like 36 hours, and
But just got engaged.
and his every time that he tells someone he's engaged, it's like it's a miracle. Like I don't know, the fact that she said yeah, because we all feel like we travel all the time, but like I'm doing travel that's separate from you guys doing travel separate from him, and he's just like at it basically.
Well,
Everything.
then we
So is
don't
Alex Bush.
And then we don't travel to these places for fun. We film a bunch of stuff
Right.
that then they all have to edit.
Yeah.
So we get to, I walk off a golf course, I'm exhausted, but that was 5.5 hours and I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to go lay in my hotel room. These guys got to just go start editing these videos. It's crazy what they do.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking Alex Bush, huge Bills fan. They're gonna get absolutely spanked by the Jets Monday Night Football.
Cap.
But he's already planning on when we're doing the podcast on Monday because he knows he's gonna be doing like clips and promos at 8:30. And I mean, like that's crazy. Like when you have to plan on Tuesday, knowing that you're gonna be working until the late hours of Monday night and a week in advance, like you're just grinding. You're
Yeah.
absolutely grinding.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of work.
We have Lil Sass video coming out on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Is that tonight?
Yes.
Lil
Yeah, it
Sass. Lil
It's
Sass Barstool Golfs. It's been one of the most requested videos that we've gotten over the last couple of years, honestly. When's the King of New York playing? When's the King of New York playing? He's playing tonight. Really good swing. You guys are gonna be
Last
stunned.
night, actually. It's Wednesday. It's coming
We're doing
out.
Thursday, I thought.
It's coming out tomorrow unless we change it.
I think Brendan said
I think
Thursday.
Brendan changed
Oh,
it.
he might have.
Maybe it already came out.
We don't know.
Because honestly, we
That's
should
right.
just do
Like,
it at
as,
like,
as of
we
now,
don't
I
know.
knew it coming out.
maybe we'll do
tomorrow.
it at like 1 o'clock Thursday or maybe Wednesday night because
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football is opening night, right?
Yep.
We're not
Yeah.
we're not going against the
You don't want to go against Goodell
Nah.
with a little sass with the king?
Nah, he wins that
he's the
battle
king.
every time. Who is opening night? Chiefs?
Chiefs and Lions.
Fuck you.
I mean, you just asked a point blank question.
Yeah, a little sass. That'll be a good one.
Good
Just look
player,
for it.
huh? He can play a little bit.
He's got a great swing, like a laughably good swing. When you see it in slow motion, you're like, he has incredible action. He gets his arms all the way up and real slow, and he has crazy good like lag and turns his hips. It's nuts.
High school golfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Amazing.
he's got a background.
But he was like the number 6 guy on the on the team. Like he like said like he didn't really he played, but he wasn't like the top guy.
But he's not a guy who's never played.
He's hit the ball for
like
sure.
you had Stu Feiner who hasn't played since like the Second World War.
He didn't. Yeah.
Okay, Frank,
1988.
it's a pleasure. What do you say? Like on the first
Pleasure
season,
and honor.
He goes, it's an honor and a pleasure to know you, and all of the rest of you, I love you.
and then swung and missed.
He's over the ball and he goes, "Okay, Frank."
Feidelberg's was great. Yeah, those are just it's fun getting people out there from the office. We're gonna keep.
We've
doing
got
that.
a couple good ones coming up too
Yeah.
that we're filming. We got Kirk Minahan coming to Long Island next week.
Nice.
Kirk Minahan's in the mix. We got Tommy Smokes hitting the links.
Yuck.
Ugh, that's gonna be a horrible episode.
I don't
man.
even really want to do it. But
We want, and then I'm gonna go to Chicago and knock all those guys out. Brandon Walker wants to get in the mix. He says he can't play in the summer. I said, what's that about?
Bro, you live in Chicago. That's kind of only time to
Yeah,
play.
he definitely can't play in the fall with college football. I mean, what is he?
What the hell does that mean? You can't play golf? in the
It's
summer?
too hot.
You know what?
He's from like Mississippi.
I kind of these last 3 days have made me almost a believer.
Something
in that.
with him in the sun because I saw the yak like when they were at Stu Finer's, he had to like sit under a tree. Like he just can't handle the sun.
There is a lot of footage of Brandon Walker sitting under trees. I feel like.
Yeah,
Every
he's a
time
leg
they're
crosser
somewhere-
like Danny.
What?
You guys both sit like legs crossed on
yeah.
the floor.
Yeah, I'm big legs crossed.
I don't know how you do it.
Crisscross applesauce.
Yeah,
I actually don't think I could do it right now.
no, the jelly in between my kneecaps would pop out.
You were
Ooze out of
you're
you.
an Indian style sitter as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
we say insensitive?
Native American.
Are you
Native
canceled?
American style.
After Torrey Pines yesterday, I figured we should put some, respect on
Native
Riggs is
American
canceled.
style
Native
seating?
American style seating, yeah.
Yeah, we did have our caddy yesterday said his name was Torrey Pines. He was named after the golf course.
And then Riggs asked him if he was Torrey Pines South or North, and he didn't know.
He said he had a great story, which is all going to be in the video. But his father named him that after his first golf course he played because it's a guy that he went to Vietnam with. The whole thing was fantastic.
That's cool, yeah.
So yeah, we've had some good caddies. The videos are going to be. We've got 6 videos already.
Yeah.
We haven't even done Aaron Hills yet. Aaron Hill's one of our favorites. You're going to see a bunch of stuff from there. So yeah, we're kind of rolling right along. Wisconsin is a sleeper state for golf. We've said that before. I think 10 of the top 100 golf courses on the Golf Digest rankings
About to be 11.
from your old pals. Yeah, about to be 11 are in Wisconsin, which I mean, there's 50 states. It's like they're kind of dominating on their quota.
I think it's the best public golf in the country.
That's what a lot of people were saying, that for public golf, it's, yeah.
Because there's a lot of states like New York, New Jersey have unbelievable golf courses, but the vast majority are private. So
And
there's
same with like California.
yeah. So there's
I mean,
so many.
Monterey and San Francisco area and all that, LA, like all that golf's sick, but it's private.
It's all super private. So
This is nice. You can just come here and play these golf courses for the most part. Except we just talked about how sweet it was that Lido's like private, but you can get tee times.
yeah,
Tee times.
well, half private.
Half private. Ryder Cup, European Ryder Cup.
Yeah,
Picks were made.
I was a little surprised Adrian Moronk didn't make the team.
My guy, I like Morocco.
Is that
I
one
took
of
him
your
a
guys?
bunch in the gambling.
Yeah, he's a solid player. He finished 5th in the points. He's 3rd in the DP World Tour, like the season long race. He's behind I think Rahm and McIlroy.
And he won there,
And he
right?
won. He won the tournament at that golf course in May.
He didn't make the team.
And he didn't make the team.
How do they justify not picking someone that finished 5th in points?
So there's 2 lists. It's kind of complicated. There's a world list that is like basically how many world ranking points you get. And then there's a European points list that is only earned through your DP World Tour events. So he finished 5th in that list. 3rd in that list was Robert McIntyre. So like Tommy Fleetwood did not qualify on points. He needed a pick, which is crazy given
Wow.
how good he was this year.
This doesn't make any
It's
sense.
insane. Fitz leapfrogged him at the end. So Fitz auto qualified, got that last spot, and then McIntyre.
Crazy that Fitz had to leapfrog. He won a fucking major since
Yeah.
the last Ryder Cup.
Well, they have this, they want to protect the European Tour, so they have 3 spots that are,
Yeah.
So
Does
yeah,
the U.S. only have one? They don't have any
just
of this.
one list. That's pretty much an approximation of like a sort of a combined FedEx Cup between
Yeah.
the 2 years. But yeah, so they went with Nikolai Højgaard instead, who's 22-year-old from Denmark, who's won and been a good player on the European Tour, but I think most people thought they were going to go with Moronk. But we've been talking about this for a while. I think the odds are down to I think Europe's only plus 125 now.
Wow.
They were 220, 230 just like a month or 2 ago.
And like a year ago, we were talking about like they weren't going to be able to formulate a team.
Yeah, we were.
Who's
We
going to
had
play?
discussions that the Ryder Cup was going to get canceled.
Yeah.
'Cause it was like
It
they
was
were just
so
going to do away
lopsided.
with it.
Yeah. So I think it's still 3 weeks away. Anything can happen, but Europe needed a boost and they needed some momentum, and they've gotten it. So I think there's a lot of juice going into that tournament. I think there was a lot of controversy on the U.S. side. There's kind of little, I don't know if scandals are, but like storylines waiting to happen, right? If JT doesn't have a good tournament, Zach Johnson can, come under fire for that pick. So there's some juice going in.
Sepp Straka.
Seb Straka made it.
Yeah, he did.
You feeling
really-
a little tradered? A
It's
little
really a Dewey thing.
I'm trying to figure. Yeah, Dewey is going to be on the bag there.
John Deere and Dewey, this guy. He's got to be one of your boys.
And then he's on the European Ryder Cup team, and he's got a southern drawl when he's going to be giving these interviews. So
yeah, he's gonna be slugging Diet Coke. the
I don't
whole
know
time.
how my brain feels about it, but I don't love it.
Yeah, you should see him speak German, like in person. You'll
That'll
feel a
That'll
little
make me
better.
be
Like
fuck this.
I
guy.
need that. I kind of need that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it. So I saw it because it was breaking my brain, and then I saw him doing an interview in the Bahamas in English, and then there was a German journalist there and asked him a question. And he started speaking just like perfect German. I was like, okay, This makes a little more sense.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah.
before
Yeah, I
the
need to
Ryder
watch
Cup.
that as well. We were getting into it. I mean, it's been since 1993 since the U.S. has won on foreign soil. Dominated a couple of years ago. Clearly, the U.S. team did. Things have changed a lot since then. There's a bunch of guys on the team that weren't on that team, and 3 of them that qualified. Harmon, Wyndham Clark, and maybe one more in the top 6 that qualified before they even got picks. So the team's changed a lot. But we were going through earlier. Homa.
Yeah.
And like some of the pairings really make me think like, all right, the U.S. should fucking be favored. Like if you have Scottie and Sam Burns, if you have Spieth and JT, if you got Morikawa and
Homa,
and then you've got Xander at Cantlay.
Yeah.
And it's like, those are 4 fucking
but the
pairings
Europeans can come back with Rory, Shane Lowry, Victor, Fitz, Fleetwood, Hatton, and then we were saying Rahm, Aberg would be sick.
yeah.
So there's 8 Titans on each team. Like
And even though they got steamrolled in Wisconsin, like the Rahm was a machine that week.
he was great.
Yeah, he lost to Scotty in the singles, but other than that, I think he was
Him
like,
and Sergio
undefeated.
were 3-0.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a machine in that event. It's in Europe, so it's going to be. I feel like this is going to be one of the tighter ones.
I'm excited. I really hope so. I think the tournament could use a close one.
What do we know about this golf course?
It's going to be very, very tight. I saw some videos are starting to emerge. You know, like right before the U.S. Open, you start to see some like rough videos where everyone's tossing balls.
They drop
really
the
rough.
ball in there.
They're showing extremely thick rough. So I think it's going to be. They're going to try and approximate Le Golf National the best they can. Or I think it's going to be really tight, really narrow, and just really long rough on both sides, and try to kind of hamstring the Americans. But the Europeans have a bunch of bombers too, a bunch of guys who hit it the long way. So I think that, especially with no Poulter and I think that storyline isn't quite as strong as it's been in years past. Like I think the Europeans all hit it a long way. They're all really good players. Ludwig is like apparently the second best driver behind Rory in the whole world. So
Those 2 guys are going to be a problem.
it's gonna be really, really fun to watch.
Shane and Rory that's an electric duo.
It's electric. Hard to root against them.
That's what I was thinking of. I didn't want to say, but I was thinking that in my head.
Like
I will root against them, but they've also got all that history together, and it's just like fuck.
Rory Lowry versus Cantlay Schauffele. You're just red, white, and blue all the way.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Okay, I'm
don't
just
put
asking.
me in this position.
No, I'm just asking. Yeah.
That's just Rory and Shane. That's 2 likable guys.
Yeah. 2 jolly lads.
The Euros they're pretty fucking likable guys.
They are.
For the most part. Like even when it was like Fleetwood and fucking Molinari when they whatever in 2018, they're like singing Tommy. It was like it's annoying, but like those guys are fucking.
The U.S. kind of have like a villain. Well, they almost kind of. I felt this way when I was watching the Walker Cup because they've won that tournament like so many times in a row. And they go on this foreign soil. They go into Scotland. They're lifting the trophy, chanting USA like in Scotland. I do kind of feel like it was probably different when it was back in the day with Seve and all the Europeans. But I feel like the Americans are sort of like the bad boys. Also because JT was chugging beers, remember?
Yeah, but don't we doesn't like the U.S. have that reputation around the world?
Yeah, that's
Like,
probably
even
just
outside
America.
of the golf. Right, we're like Americans. It's like we're kind of the boisterous like assholes from across the ocean. Like,
you're
it's
right.
like we're the U.S. We're
Can't really
Americans.
play the like plucky upstart role anymore.
Yeah, we come in with like we wear like flag fucking t-shirts and shit.
Yeah.
And like we're American.
Fair
We're
enough.
Like, so I think that's kind of just generally the American thing. But yeah, it does feel that way. And it feels with like Cantlay and Xander like quiet and Xander slow or Cantlay's like slow. So I feel like that's like people were kind of like fuck those guys. Yet he doesn't wear a hat, right? Like no hat, Pat. He's out there dominating people. I feel like people probably fucking hate that, especially the Europeans. So yeah, I think that team. It's going to be a fantastic Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Really
a
good.
fantastic Ryder
It's
Cup.
going to be special.
I don't know how I'm going to watch this thing.
Too early?
It's on at 10 p.m.
That's when it starts?
Yeah.
You might have to be on the
Oh,
East
you're going to
Coast.
be in Arizona?
Yeah, I think they're 6 hours ahead of East Coast time, and then I'm 3 hours behind, 9 hours. So if they tee off, right, because they got to get 36
Early.
holes in,
It's like 7 a.m. on.
in fucking almost October. So yeah, they tee off really early there. That's literally going to be 10 p.m. my time. So I don't even know how you could. You can't stay. I'd have to stay up till 10 in the morning.
It'd be
You're
really
gonna
hard.
become nocturnal
You got
for a
to
week.
flip everything.
What am I going to do?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Do I have to go somewhere else? to watch
You
it?
might have to go to Piners for
It's not going to be the easiest viewing experience for East Coasters.
No,
either.
no.
It's
No.
like
1 a.m.
yeah.
But at least you can wake up at 4 and you still see the last hour or so of the
But
morning.
it's tough to miss the first tee shot.
It
Like
is
on
tough.
Friday, right? Because they just play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yeah.
In Ryder Cup, President's Cup, they play all 4 days. But like Friday, you're not going to miss that first tee shot. They're going to be doing the Viking thing, and like you got to see that first tee
So
shot.
maybe you watch the first tee shot at 10 p.m. in Arizona. Then you take the red eye, and then you move to Pinehurst.
Dude, I think I'm gonna have to nap at like 5.
Yeah.
Sleep shifts.
I'm gonna
like
have
Frank
to
the
Frank
Tank.
the Tank it and sleep shift it. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
trying to watch
selfishly,
this
I just wish it was here every time.
thing. Yeah.
That's very American of me, but
That's way nicer. Created by fans for fans, Game Time is the ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, shows. It's no secret football's back. I got a fantasy football draft tonight.
I feel like it's the last 3 days we've all been drafting.
Everybody's drafting. It's drafting season.
The fall's coming back. It's nice.
Lurch had 2 drafts at once.
I picked the worst team of all time.
I always do.
But football is back.
Football's so back. I can't wait. Thursday, opening night, Monday, Jets Bills, prime time, Monday Night Football. Me versus Alex Bush.
You going to some games this year, Bush?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to the home opener the week after. The Raiders Bills. But outside of that, I'm not sure.
How are you going to get tickets?
Game Time, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Easy.
You can get limited time discounts with exclusive flash deals. The purchase process takes 2 taps and 10 seconds. Once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone. Download the Game Time app or go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code FORE, F-O-R-E. That's our code for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, go download that Game Time app or visit their website. Enter your email, redeem with the code FORE for $20 off your first purchase.
Did you guys have a good Ryder Cup last? We weren't like friendly really back then. Did you guys have a good experience at Whistling Straits?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really good.
Good
Yeah.
week for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Frankie and I ran to the first hole.
That
was
video
fun.
went huge.
Yeah, that
That
one
was a
did
huge
well.
video.
That one was fun.
We hung out with Scottie Scheffler.
We went to a Dan and Shay concert
Went to a Dan and Shay concert.
in
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
At the Milwaukee Bucks Arena.
Went to fucking Lambeau.
Went to Lambeau.
Went to Lambeau.
Great
Walked on
Sounds
the
like a great
field.
week.
Dude, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scotty was like putting for 3 hours and we waited for him the entire time. And he had said that something was off with his putting and that they realized at the end of that session that his putter was off.
It was bent.
It was bent a little bit. That's why it was driving him crazy because he
He
wasn't
wouldn't
hitting his
leave until he
lines.
made like 5 8-footers in a row or
So
something.
halfway through his session, someone looked at his putter and they're like, "It's fucking bent." So they bent it back and he just started nailing putts and then he came over to us.
You might need to bend it again.
But it took a long time. Yeah.
That was mean, but true.
Yeah, and then that was before he was Scottie Scheffler. Like he was Scottie.
Right,
Because
the
I
team.
remember I tweeted night before singles. I was like, Scottie Scheffler is going to kill John Rahm. People were like, "You're crazy. You're a crazy American." And then now
That's what
he's-
vaulted him up. That was when he talked.
Yeah.
That was when he still talked to us.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I mean, once he became the #1 golfer in the world, I feel like we started getting less.
Would
we
you
stopped,
talk? Would you talk to us?
We stopped talking pizza in our DMs like we used to.
That hurts.
What's your favorite spot in New Haven? Oh, Sally's.
It's unfortunate, but I get it to a degree.
Happens to everyone.
Yeah.
The more they win.
I just think I think there was always like, I always made an excuse for him where I'm like, he's like the #1 golfer in the world. And then he like fell off the #1 golfer in the world. I'm like, he's probably frustrated he's not the #1 golfer in the world anymore. So there's
Remember,
always just-
like the first interaction we had with Scotty was at Kiowa
yep.
because he would always smile when he saw you, and they set it up at Kiowa perfectly for guys like us, where they had to walk from the putting and chipping
was
to
amazing.
the range, and we had our own little bullpen area.
Yes.
and we were doing like introduction and walk downs, and Scotty came.
Well,
and
I said Scottie Scheffler, and he goes, "I didn't know you knew my name."
what? Imagine
And
that.
I said, "This is the Kiowa PGA," and I was like, "How the fuck would I not know Scottie Scheffler?" And he's like, "I don't know. I didn't know you're Frankie. I just didn't know you knew I was me."
Because he's a big pizza review guy.
And then I was like, "All right." And then he laughed. He goes, "All right."
It was awesome.
I kind of like went after him. "What the fuck you talking about?" He's like, "Relax." And we had a really good back and forth. And then I saw him at the PGA at Whistling Straits. And I'm like, every time I see you, I laugh. He's like, "I laugh too." And then I put out that picture of him looking like Buzz Lightyear, and I think that may have turned the tides.
I agree.
Do you just discover that in your head?
Well,
No,
it was
we've
during
been
the
thinking
U.S.
about it.
Open in Boston
Country Club.
at the Country Club, and I just thought he looked like Buzz Lightyear. He kind
fair
of just
shot.
and we had an amazing Photoshop of him looking like Buzz Lightyear. I don't think that's a dig.
No, Buzz Lightyear's like a handsome, like
He's got like a
astronaut,
big, he's got like a
character,
big
you know?
jaw. Like that's about it. I gotta find this.
But there's also, and I don't know if this is public, there's the Islander who doesn't like the.
No, we yeah.
All right.
No. We've moved on from that tweet for
Okay,
sure. I used to call Anders Lee the Crimson Chin because and I had an amazing gift that I would tweet out. I turned the Crimson Chin from the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yep.
Into Anders Lee flying through. It had a little 27 on it. It's incredible.
Triggs,
I think Trigg
Anders
made it
didn't
for
like
me.
it?
I got reports back that I don't think he for the captain of the team. I don't think that he liked the Islanders guy, or people around him maybe didn't like that his tweet was about his big chin.
He's got a big
His
chin.
jaw.
He's got a nice jawline.
You do got to think with Buzz Lightyear, he is like a borderline superhero, but he's also in the Toy Story movies. At least at the beginning, he's highly delusional. He like thinks he's Buzz Lightyear.
But I'm not.
He doesn't know he's a toy.
Listen, I don't.
This was
what it boils down
This was
to.
the picture that made me think it.
And I don't think Scottie Scheffler's thinking about it that much.
I don't think so either.
But at the beginning, Buzz does
He's got
not know that
got
he's a
the
toy.
same face. So that was I tweeted that. Let's see.
Was it the newer version of Buzz Lightyear? Because there was a new one.
Yeah. So that was 6/7/22. I'm gonna go through my photos.
Who was the voice?
Zach Johnson, astronaut. Buzz Lightyear.
I have a weird thing
Scottie
where I
Scheffler.
think certain people look like they're astronauts.
I think we even showed Zach the Photoshop of the
He
astronaut.
loved it.
And he liked it.
He asked for a photo for a T-shirt.
He looked regal in that one, though. That one that we made.
Well, and Zach's just a super cool, awesome, perfect guy. So,
Captain Zach.
yeah, I do get a little bit nervous about that if we're being honest.
It's a big effect on their legacy.
It is.
It really is.
Absolutely.
If you have a shit one, it's bad.
Yeah, like Faldo losing at Valhalla, like, you know, there was like this festering thing that people didn't really like Sir Nick that
Yeah.
much, and then
I
when
mean,
he
think about the Watson thing.
Tom Watson was really bad.
thing,
Nightmare.
and then even like I feel
Jim
like
Furyk a little bit.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and then like Patty Harrington last 2 years ago when they got steamrolled at Mystic. I feel like it wasn't like, but people were kind of like, yeah, it's, you know.
Think about Stricker.
That's very
Frankie
funny.
showing us the photo. Think about
very
good.
funny.
That's really good.
I mean, how can anyone?
There's
get mad
no
at
way
that?
he got mad at that.
No, I think I'm just thinking too much into it.
Stricker whistling was like, "This is my major."
Vaulted.
Incredible.
That vaulted. That made him iconic.
He's crying and into it. It was
yeah,
great.
and they're all going nuts for Captain Stricker afterwards. And in Shane Ryan's book, you learn a lot about how much Stricker was actually putting into it, and it was like, holy shit.
That's what I hope is going to happen to Zach. Now, Zach obviously has 2 majors, a Masters and an Open Championship at St. Andrews. But
Amazing.
as good as it gets.
Pretty good resume.
Video game stuff.
Pretty good resume.
And if he can put another feather in his cap, I don't know if can he get canceled for that. If he can win a Ryder Cup.
We're dancing all around, no pun intended, the Native Americans.
All right. Now we're in an area we don't want to be.
that was crazy.
Now we're in an area we don't want to be.
The fact that you said no pun intended made it fucked up. It would no one would have noticed.
What's wrong with like the Native Americans dance?
Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves.
I don't know if that movie's okay still.
Really?
I don't know. I
Is
watched
that
it.
right?
I don't know. Kevin
We're
Costner.
canceling Dances with Wolves. It's a great movie.
It's a good movie. I don't know. It's hard to keep up with what's okay.
I would like.
Listen.
I mean, no offense.
Listen, if Scottie Scheffler's listening to this, send me a DM that says, and he has my number, to infinity and beyond. Just send it. I want to know that he's in on the joke.
You think he's going to listen to this podcast?
It might get to him. He's got friends.
True.
Somebody actually submitted it from the gallery.
To infinity and beyond, Scotty. I want that message, so I know you don't hate it. You
It was
don't
like
hate
when
us.
Fitz, we used to say words at the end of the podcast
Yeah.
to test if Fitz was listening.
Playful.
He would text us purple. Matt from Iowa. Oh, this is from the gallery. we
Shout
need
out.
submissions, by the way. Submissions. Foreplay at barstoolsports.com. That's the email. And just put from the gallery in there. And then send us a question, a concern, a hypothetical, whatever. He said, go Hawks. And then he said, would you rather be Zach Johnson currently, 2-time major winner, lifetime seat of the Masters Champions dinner, but obviously your best golf days are behind you, or would you rather be a young star in your 25 to 30-year-old range that does not have a major yet, not guaranteed to ever get that win, but you have more life and championship golf opportunities ahead of you?
So like Xander Schauffele.
Yeah, would you rather be like Xander right now or Zach Johnson right now?
No, that's too easy to pick Xander.
you
He's
think
got
someone
more
not-
money under this.
You
He's got
think
more.
someone not as good?
Xander's also accomplished a bunch of things. It feels like in his life, he's got so much fucking money. If you're telling me if I could be just younger and wealthier and cooler and better looking, I'm gonna
Take
pick
it easy,
Xander.
all
I'm
right?
gonna pick Xander. You have to give me like a guy that's like in his rookie season. That's
Okay, would you rather
Ludwig.
be Davis Riley
right.
or Zach Johnson?
Like a guy with crazy promise or Zach Johnson. Well, now how old is Zach Johnson?
Probably mid 40s.
All right, and Davis Riley's 19,
No, he's like 26.
26.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
So yeah, you're right. Xander's, in my opinion, the Xander one's a
I'm
no-brainer.
gonna look up how old Davis Riley
Also, like time is
26?
more important
So?
than
Been
whatever.
out there for like 2 years. Did a year on the Corn Ferry. He's
Wow.
Nice work, Dan
buddy.
Rappaport. I would have thought way younger.
26. Yeah.
How old's Zach? I just want to look.
44,
Are you
So
guessing?
19, 7 years old.
47.
47.
It's older.
But he's got 2 majors. I think he's got 13 wins, would be my guess.
Yeah, he's going to the Hall of Fame. I'd rather be Zach Johnson. I'd rather be Xander Schauffele than Zach Johnson, but I'd rather be Zach Johnson than Davis Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also
saying,
probably
if
one of the mentalities that we don't have.
All right, but what are you like basing that off of? Like the way the world perceives you, like you being in the history books, or like your quality of life? Like
Well-
if you're snapping a finger and turning into another body, you're really picking Zach Johnson over like a young stud that has his whole life of golf ahead of him.
I'm a guy
You're not
who-
about to play. You're not going to be about to play in the Masters. I mean, you will because he's going to play in the Masters. But yeah, I guess he's. Still
I'm a
playing.
guy who works for things because I like the feeling after accomplishing them. I'm not necessarily like, oh, I love the grind. Like it's like, no, I like feeling like I accomplished this thing.
you don't like working out, but you like after the workout that
Exactly.
that you actually worked out.
Exactly. So if I'm Zach Johnson, I have that feeling of warmth throughout my whole life that I accomplished this. I did all of
But
these
you
things.
didn't though.
Well,
Well, but you can't.
In the hypothetical, I think you're just like swapping with him. Like you're just entering.
But you don't know that you swapped.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a good point.
And
If your brain didn't swap and you're there, you're sitting at the table like these guys don't even know I'm just rigged. Like, I can't.
My new family has no idea.
All right, come to bed, honey.
get me out of here.
I still get to go home to Cedar Rapids for the holidays.
I'm more saying like the world thinks that you won at St. Andrews and you won a master. Like everything kind of changed. Like you're like a 45-year-old. You have Zach Johnson's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the world thinks that I won the Masters.
Right.
So I won the Masters.
Right, which is cool.
Yeah. It's very cool.
You didn't get to go do it though. If you switch to a guy that is about to embark on that journey, I think that might be
True.
cool.
Like, would you not have the memories of doing it?
That's what I'm
suck.
saying.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
it's
I'd be
your
fine
new.
with it. I think I'd be fine with it.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe I'm just vain.
It's a little hollow.
Remember when
Little.
remember when Roy McIlroy taught us how to hit a driver and he called you a lefty Zach Johnson?
Yeah.
And you said something mean about Zach Johnson and he was like, Masters and a British Open at St. Andrews is pretty good. Even Roy McIlroy thinks that's pretty fucking good.
It is pretty fucking good,
yeah.
but
Anything at Augusta to Rory's like incredible. If you,
Oh.
make the cut, he's like, holy fuck.
I think that's part of the reason why, I think that's part of the
I
reason,
like Rory. Come on.
no, but
I
I
might
actually
get
think
to
that's part of the
Rory.
reason why he said it.
Probably.
He was like, I mean, I would take a Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rory's been listening in on the Champions Dinner every single fucking Monday.
Might have
Whatever it is,
changed
Tuesday.
now. I don't remember, but I think Zach Johnson won the Masters with the highest score,
+1.
+1.
2007.
That hasn't changed since then, right?
Cold and windy.
Yeah. Laid up on every par 5, king.
Those are two iconic wins.
sick that he laid up.
Short king.
That's
Iconic wins.
playoff, three-way playoff at the St.
Yeah, he
Andrews?
kind of stole it. Remember Spieth was making, that would have been the third leg. And he missed a putt on 18 to get into the playoff.
Was that
He
2015?
He
That was
kissed the jug with his
2015.
eyes open
Oh yeah, that was one of like the crazy memes. Yeah.
We talked about that.
with
I remember
him.
he was like,
He's like, I can't believe that's the photo that they used.
yeah.
I think there's an ear of corn in it too when that's happening. Oh no, that's a separate picture. There's two pictures. When he won the Masters, made my dad and my Uncle Jack cry.
Wow.
They bawled their eyes out.
That's
That's
incredible.
great.
He's Cedar Rapids guy.
Yeah, it's
That's
incredible.
a big deal. He's got a
Yeah.
street named after him.
Could you see him going into politics?
No,
No, he's not that kind of guy.
no,
I
I
just
don't
feel like
think
he's so
so.
beloved in that area. Is he
I don't
not-
know.
Is he not one of Iowa's proudest sons?
Oh, he most certainly is. But
Is he the most successful Iowan?
Whoa.
There's a
Ashton
few that
Kutcher.
we've pulled up before, yeah.
Ashton Kutcher's more successful than Zach Johnson.
Depends on how you look at it.
Punked was pretty cool.
And he's pretty famous, dude.
He's very. Yeah, that's the question.
He's rich now too.
He's very rich.
Is he married to what's her face?
Mila Kunis?
Mila Kunis.
Yeah, and they
I don't
live
think they
like
shower.
in like a plant-based house or something.
And
crazy.
before
about
that,
that.
Demi Moore.
Something about don't they like not shower their children?
They
or
don't.
something like
Yeah,
that?
they got in a big. But then they showed some self awareness and they made fun of it.
Didn't
Yeah.
he too?
like.
Didn't he? Wasn't he dating a girl that got killed?
Who?
I think he had a girlfriend at one point. She got like murdered while he was dating her or something
I
crazy
don't know
like
if I
that.
remember that.
Like in the 2010 area, somewhere around there.
Hard to recall.
I'm pretty sure it's him or somebody that's in that category as him was dating a girl that was like maybe an actress, but wasn't like, as high up as he is in terms of fame and all that. She got like murdered or something.
Damn, I don't remember that.
I hate to bring that up, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's like a crazy fact about.
Damn.
And obviously
Ashton
tragedy.
Kutcher?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Punked was iconic.
Who's Frodo Baggins?
What?
Elijah Wood.
Iowa.
Bluest eyes this guy's
think-
ever seen.
I think John Wayne might be from Iowa. But Zach's up there. Zach's way up there. You know what I mean? Priyanka Chopra is from. She's not from there, but her and I went to the same high school.
Kennedy.
Yeah. Shout out JFK.
Kennedy High.
Yep.
Nice.
Shout out to it. And then there's me, of course.
Eagles. What was the?
Cougars.
For us, golf's incredibly simple. We're out there to have a good time, to get away, to compete with our friends a little bit. Sometimes you need a little bit of a pick-me-up. Sometimes you just want to get the energy going. Frankie described doing shots that way in the best way. A few months ago, we were talking about it, and Fireball whiskey is the best way to do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, listen, it was a huge pick-me-up on this trip. It felt like when you were on a par streak or a bogey streak and you just couldn't make anything happen. You weren't going lower. You weren't turning those scores. You were +1, +2, +3, +4. It's like it's just adding up. You finally make that birdie or you finally hit that good drive. You rip it out and you just know that you just turned a page. Like it's a mind reset for me. It's like it's a party now. Now we're having fun. We're no longer stressing. We're having a good time. That's what it is for me, at least.
The Fireball 50 milliliter shooters, it's that way for me as well, are the perfect shot for the golf course. Throw a bunch in your bag, which is what we've done on this trip, and they're ready to go whenever you need them. No shot glass or chaser needed. Just crack it and knock it back. It's the iconic cinnamon flavor. Tastes fire, goes down easy, making it the ultimate crowd pleaser. That is Fireball. If you're really feeling like upping the ante on the course this weekend, make sure to grab the new Fireball Birdie Shot Club. It's literally a golf club filled with Fireball nips. We use these all week. We put a Fireball Birdie Shot Club in our golf bags. We ripped them out. We had ourselves a great time at Sand Valley. So go check out the Fireball Birdie Shot Club.
What was your high school like? Was it like a movie high school where I always wanted to go to a high school where parts of it you walked outside, like there was a hallway outside.
Nope.
You didn't have that?
Nope.
We had hallways outside.
I'm sure. Yeah, the warmer climates I think have that.
Yeah.
Those always made me feel really cool
There was
watching
like
it.
little like hangout areas that were like between classrooms.
Outside.
Yeah.
I think I had a pretty standard high school experience, honestly.
Yeah,
How
same.
many kids in your graduating class?
380,
Okay. That's pretty
Yeah,
standard,
I had
right?
like 400, 500.
Fore. I played football. It was good. I like
Cheerleaders on Friday nights.
Yep.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
man. Enjoyed it. I really
Yeah, it's
enjoyed
true.
it. What was everybody's high school mascot?
I was the Jets, East Mountain Jets. They drove a little jet around the track. It was actually a pretty cool little thing.
That is cool.
It was like a go-kart, but it looked like a jet.
I like that.
Didn't go that fast though, so it was kind of
I went to 4 different high schools.
wow.
Why?
Hockey.
Why?
Traveling.
That didn't
to-
answer my question.
traveling to join different teams because it was like high school hockey is very limiting in terms of the exposure. It's not like high school football, for example. You could become like a highly touted recruit by just playing high school football. Hockey's not that way. Like high school hockey in Missouri, for example,
Wow.
at the time was like horrific. So it's like if you were really good in high school hockey there, you might not be able to make a club hockey team in college.
Gotcha.
So there were all these like travel teams that essentially would funnel the best players so that they could then be scouted by like college coaches and such. And so I moved to Chicago, a couple different high schools in Chicago, and then obviously went to my high school back in St. Louis, which is St. Charles West Warriors, I believe they were.
Okay.
And then the prep school that I went to obviously solved all of these issues up in Connecticut, which is why I went there, and we were the Wild Boars.
Gotcha. I had the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders came into existence while I was sort of that age, and I think that's the USHL, maybe.
Yep.
So a bunch of the players would start to live with the families and come to high school. Andy Mealy, does that sound familiar? Mm-hmm. He played in Arizona. Stud. He was a Cedar Rapids Rough Rider. Him and I got we weren't close, but we were friendly. I like that guy.
USHL is like the best junior hockey league. Like those guys all go Division I. So those are all kids that pretty much are like senior-ish in high school level, or maybe even a year after high school. Instead of going to college right away, they go play a year or two of junior hockey to get scouted. And it's like, again, it's kind of this funneled league where the college coaches, instead of having to go to every high school around the country and do all this, they just pretty much go to junior hockey games, scout those, and pick their players from there.
That makes sense.
My uncle, a side job for him was being the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders mascot.
Really?
Ricochet.
It's a good name.
Big horse.
Didn't you fill in for him once?
Yeah, there was like a boys and girls commitment that he couldn't make, and I filled in for him. And it was an ice skating one at the ice skating arena, the Cedar Rapids Ice Arena, and I just stood in the middle of the ice, and the kids skated around me because I couldn't skate. My best friend Richard just came down and watched. He was like, "I'm not missing this. I'm gonna come check it out."
That's
and I
amazing.
just stood there while the kids skated around me.
Yeah, my high
was
school.
I don't want to be around anymore.
My high school was Brentwood Eagles.
Okay,
Eagles. Yeah, small high school.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Eagles, Warriors, Jets, Cougars,
Well, Wild Boars.
Wild Boars.
Yeah, very prep school. We were the Choate, Rosemary Hall, Wild Boars.
Wow.
Not just Boars. The Wild Boars.
Well, it was Choate was the guys' school forever, and then Rosemary Hall was the
Choate.
girls' school, and they merged decades ago. And so it was called Choate Rosemary Hall, which is where JFK went.
Really?
Choate, isn't chode another word for like a cock?
Choate is like
Chode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I've
thinking
also
of
heard.
Choate.
I've also
We
heard,
got that one a lot.
Yeah.
We
we
used to
got that
say
one a lot.
we used to say trote for meaning
Wait,
Sucking.
Croat?
trote.
Troat. Now I haven't heard that.
Like
throat,
throating
like
it?
throat without an H. Like she gave like she gave him
Oh, I
trote.
see. She can't even say the H because, I get
Yeah,
it.
just gave him, no, just,
Right.
just gave him trote.
Right.
High school is an interesting time.
We had a lot.
I
of
loved
words.
my high school.
I actually did too.
Just I loved having all the teachers that were there for 4 years, and you develop relationships with them, like Mr. Casson. That's a name I haven't said in a long time, but like just a fucking awesome social studies teacher that was just always there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, good times. Like
I hear
really
from my teachers every now and then.
Yeah,
like on
same.
Instagram.
My high school golf coach played at the Colonial Springs
I
golf
met
club.
him.
Yeah,
He was
Tom
wait,
Reynolds.
no, that was the baseball coach that I met when you and I were just out there playing.
That was Coach Massia.
Okay.
Yeah, definition of a high school football coach and baseball coach.
100%.
Just you can hear his pants swooshing.
Still called him coach, which I
I
like.
called him coach when I said hi.
I
to him.
still
That's,
there's
yeah, that's a good. That's
my
a good
God, I've got football coaches from back home that aren't coaches anymore, and I'll see them around town when I'm back home, and it's still coach.
We were filming a Barstool Golfs, and on the hole that was coming towards us, it was just my varsity baseball coach, my JV baseball coach, and a guy that grew up with my aunt, all in just one group. It was crazy. It was overkill. I couldn't even understand.
You were
it.
overwhelmed.
I hadn't seen them in 12 years.
Speaking of high school coaches, did you guys watch the BS High about Bishop Sycamore?
No, but I want to.
I want to.
You got to watch that because you were saying about like coach, and they were saying how like it's especially shitty to mislead kids as a coach because there's a certain gravitas
There is.
that comes with that name of like coach. Like you're expected to be like a leader of young men.
You're certainly not supposed to fuck them over.
You guys got to watch the documentary.
You're
That
a
guy
role
is-
model. You're to be trusted.
That guy is
You're-
an all-time con man. All-time con.
stinks.
You guys should watch it.
I saw our guy Clemmer went after him, I think. I think they had him on Pick Central.
Yeah, they interviewed him.
And Clemmer just fucking went at his throat.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hard hitting.
Shout to
Just said like you're a shitty person, basically.
pretty much, yeah. He's like, it was your kind of what you're saying. It's your responsibility, like, and you basically take advantage of these kids, like in that
Yeah.
way, which is fucked up.
How about we had a curfew in high school?
What time?
Oh, what? The boarding school.
Yeah,
This high school sounded like it sucked.
it was
This whole
awesome.
Sound like a bunch of chodes.
experience.
It was honestly fucking
Not a lot of
awesome.
trout.
But
going on
Little
there.
throwback for the rigs there.
we had just trauma. These fucking guys.
Just come over, punch
Don't
me in
talk
the
about
face.
it.
We had 7:30 to 9 on weeknights was study hours. You either had to be in a library or in your room. And then from 9 to 9:45, we had study break where everybody would meet and they had like food trucks came in basically. And everybody would kind of meet and hang out for 30 or 45 minutes. And then you had to be back in your room, I believe, by 9:45. And they shut off the internet at 11.
That's so early. Wow. 9:40 as a high school senior,
Yep.
you had to be in your room at 9:45.
Yep.
That's-
on weeknights.
That's
It was
That
no
would've
joke,
never-
man.
That would have never worked for me. I was a bit of a menace in high school, just like in terms of, I mean, I was still the way that I am now, but I also loved to party and I loved to like do all that shit.
Plenty of guys got expelled.
Gotcha. That would have
That was like
been
a
me.
thing. Huh?
Throwing ragers after hours and shit. Like we had plenty of people get expelled for sure. That happened. And then on weekends, like we had 25% of our student body was day students, so they lived locally and didn't live at the school. And like they would invite people over on weekends. You could check out, and then like they would have some of those people had the cool parents that would like just throw parties at their house every weekend.
What was the dynamic between the boarders and the non-boarders? Was everyone friends, or was there a divide?
No, people were friends, but there was a little bit of a rivalry for sure.
Yeah.
Of like you're not all in.
Yeah, you go home at the end of the day. You pussy. You go home to your parents. At the
Or
end of the
like
day.
they had like a car, like the people,
Yeah.
like that was amazing. There were
Yeah.
people that had like that freedom of having a car, be able to drive around. Like we had to be in bed by fucking 9:30.
Yeah.
People with school permits before everybody turned 16, those people were rock stars.
Yeah, big time.
Those people were rock
The
stars.
OG cool guy.
Oh, yeah.
In 11th grade, when I started going out to get lunch, and like you'd leave, and I'd get in a car. I had a tribute. I remember it was like a Mazda tribute or something. Everyone would pack in.
We had a Mazda tribute in our
Yeah,
family.
I remember just like thinking it was so cool that I'd bring everyone to Borelli's, and I'd be like, "You're not gonna believe like we're just gonna go to Borelli's." And then I'd just have like 11th graders just like sitting at the bar at Borelli's, and like it would just be like an empty restaurant because it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. It always just like it never lived up to the hype. It was just like we're sitting there. My dad's like bringing out pasta. I'm like, we shouldn't be here.
Drinking
actually.
Coca-Colas.
Yeah. But we would just go to the bar and just, I remember I used to go with like 3 or 4 people, like almost every single lunch. We would just go to Brez. We'd bring our homemade lunches sometimes and just go sit at the bar.
Bizarre behavior.
Bizarre behavior.
Yeah, we would just go. There was like a Taco Bell nearby. There was a Wendy's nearby. That was where we would always go if somebody had a school permit.
I had a jail right across the street, a pretty big one.
Whoa.
Jail or prison?
Prison. I think it's a jail. It's not a prison. They hold pretty bad people there though.
Okay.
It's like the one that like if you murder everybody, you're going there for like a day or two while they figure out what prison to send you upstate.
Right. They're processing you.
They
and
had a
shit
couple
like
of
that.
outbreaks where like we got put on
where
shutdown.
people broke out.
Yeah.
Were you rooting for them?
Jesus.
Breakouts.
Were you rooting for them like
Outbreaks.
Shawshank style, or were you?
I mean, I think every kid roots for just to be able to go home. You don't care what
Yeah,
happened.
whatever's gonna cancel
Buildings
school.
gonna explode. Just like I just want to go home.
Snow. I used to root for everything to cancel school.
We had one where everyone was on lockdown, and it's like scary because it's gotten so much worse now
Of
with all
course,
these
yeah.
lockdowns. Like you have to take it fucking seriously because the world's psychotic. But this one kid, I remember, we were on lockdown for a long time, and I forgot what it was. Like the electricity went out or something, and all the AC went out for hours, and they wouldn't let us leave. It was nuts. We were stuck in these rooms. And this one kid just goes, "I'm done," and just hopped out the 3rd story window.
What?
Yeah. Landed in bushes and then just ran across. He survived.
What a ledge.
Ran across the thing. He got suspended. Didn't go to prom. Barely graduated. They tried to fucking ruin
He's
him.
probably incarcerated right now. That's a
Yeah.
rule breaker.
You're right across.
He's
the
actually
street.
pretty successful. He's a normal dude.
they just took him right across the street.
Yeah.
Put him in a car, drive him across
Come on
the
over
street.
here,
Yeah,
pal.
you never saw him again.
I'll always remember just hearing just like, "I'm done. I'm out."
What's his first name?
I can't.
All right.
We had something called President's Day, where one day a year the president of the school would just choose the night before that tomorrow's off, and it was fucking awesome.
Which high school
Was it
this?
always
Joe, the prep
was
school.
it always President's Day that we all have?
No. That'd be funny. We just didn't know. They didn't tell us about that holiday.
It's this day.
It'd be like a random Wednesday night, and we'd get a school-wide email at like 6 p.m. or something that would be like tomorrow's President's Day.
That's how you keep the favor of the student body.
Yeah.
That's a big move. That's a good idea.
It was,
actually.
yeah, like and it was
Did you have
baked
uniforms?
in. No, we had to wear a jacket and tie.
But what you could choose.
But it was like, it seems like you got to wear a suit, which I was a guy from the Midwest that didn't grow up in like the prep school culture at all. So my first couple weeks at school, I wore a suit. And you learn that like jacket and tie guys literally were wearing like
Khakis.
pink shorts with like a fucking jacket tie with the sleeves all rolled up that like the tie hadn't been undone in 2 years. You just keep it and tie like it wasn't.
yeah.
And I didn't know any better. I just wore literally like a black suit to the first day of school.
And
People were like, "The fuck is wrong with you?"
They had to be like this guy.
Oh, totally.
Any like big people come out of like that school where you went, like CEOs and shit like that?
Gotta be.
Yes, but nothing that's big like public.
Okay.
in that sense. But I remember early on, there were some kids that we went to school with that you would see on like CNBC talking business trades with like their new, NFT company or whatever.
Right.
but a while ago, like within 5 years ago. It wasn't NFTs, I guess, if it was like 5 years after we graduated. But when we were 26, all of a sudden, like kids that we went to school with, they were talking about scientific breakthroughs they're working on and shit. You'd be like, Jesus, that's that kid from class.
Wow.
So it was
That's
weird.
interesting.
Yeah. But again, it was a lot of behind the scenes shit. This one kid, Kieran, then ended up going to Harvard as well, but was very deep into like pre-med and like biology and medicine type study. Ended up doing like wizardry type stuff in like scientific business. That's shit that I don't even understand, but I think like makes more money than God.
You guys got any famous alums?
We got Maroon 5. It's a pretty good
Wow.
one. Yeah.
The whole band?
Adam
I think
Levine.
it's like 4 out of the 5. Yeah, Adam Levine. Yeah. They were a band in high school called Kara's Flowers or Kara's Flowers.
Okay.
That's pretty
They used to
interesting.
play like assemblies and stuff.
Fuck
Yeah, Adam Levine's mom worked at the school like in admissions when I was there. He was obviously a few years older than me. There's a few others. The Two Friends, you know, they're a music duo. You know who they are? Yeah. They were a couple years above me.
I didn't have it. We had Joel Rifkin. He was a, I think he ate like eight women.
Oh, that's not what I thought. I thought you were going for like a competitive eater.
No, he like he was like a serial killer,
Okay.
murderer. Joel Rifkin.
Cannibal, it sounds like.
Yeah, he was bad. He was a bad dude. I think he went to school with like my dad's like class. Trying to think.
While we're on that subject, I just want to confirm that the Ashton Kutcher girlfriend murder story is true.
True.
Oh,
Wow.
fuck.
Horrible story.
Jesus.
The girl, she was like a 22-year-old girl, and when she was murdered, she was getting ready in her house for a date with Ashton Kutcher.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
He testified during the trial. Wow. It was in like 2001, so it was a long time.
Yeah, that's before that I was like aware of.
So it was way longer than I thought. Isn't that nuts?
Before Demi Moore.
Yeah, right.
I'd say the most famous alum from my high school is Salgenta, who was the first living Medal of Honor recipient since like the Vietnam War. I was friends with his brother Mario, who was younger. The story's crazy. If you look him up, you wouldn't believe it. It's like straight out of, yeah, it's crazy.
Ugh,
That was, yeah.
no good.
So we had at Eastmont High School Matt Serra. Forgot about that one. UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And Chris Angel. You know the
Wow.
Yeah.
Mind Freak?
yeah,
That's
Mind Freak.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good one. We had
Bunch of freaks. Joel
Andrew
Rifkin.
Breitbart, guy who started Breitbart. Went to high school. He's dead, actually, so don't be nice.
He's dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the guy who played Boy Meets World, Corey.
That's a big one.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, those are big ones.
Yeah, there's some good Hollywood ones.
Frank Viola, all-time Mets pitcher and Twins pitcher. I think he won. I don't know if he won. I think he won the Cy Young. He was like an older guy in the 80s. But
Yeah,
Frank
Priyanka
Viola.
Chopra is also there for me.
Oh, yeah. You met her in the office, right?
Oh,
Yeah, she
she's
came
a
and did
native
Chicks in the
football
Office.
player. I don't know if you remember this guy. I think he played for the Chargers. Rich Ornberger. He was like an
No.
offensive lineman. Whenever like a big football player would come, I'm sure you'd feel the same way. But like you knew that when the guy was gonna make it, and like the whole entire town went behind him. Like I remember when Rich Ornberger got like was on an NFL team. Every single time his name came
deal.
up on like Monday Night Football, I went nuts.
Oh, yeah.
My sister would show me a picture of him like at our house in like a group photo, like a party, and I'd be like, that fucking guy. Meanwhile, he was like a offensive line. I don't know, like he didn't really
Yeah.
make that big of an
Yeah, I'm
impact.
trying to think. There wasn't anybody. Yeah, nobody like no NFL players that really in my class or from where I'm.
In my specific graduating class, I don't know that anyone's doing anything that crazy. Like I'd love to actually hear from a lot of people. I guess that's why reunions were a thing. I feel like my
Facebook groups are kind of a thing now. But
Yeah.
this generation has done away with fucking reunions because everyone just follows everyone on Instagram, but you don't genuinely know what they're up to.
Do you remember
People know what I'm up to because I fucking post everything. I feel like. So
Right.
I don't
I've
know.
also
yeah.
unfollowed a ton of people from high school.
My
You
15-year high
unfollowed?
school,
yeah, a ton.
Yeah.
my 15-year high school reunion was during COVID, which stinks.
I really
nobody
like
went.
my class. I think that there's a lot of good. I think there's probably a lot of successful people out of it. I just don't really know where they're at.
Yeah.
You know, I know my friends; they're all doing great.
I don't even know. Let's see. I graduated high school in 07. That 20 years closer than I wanted
Big
to be.
Rob, he's a nightmare.
He's a legend.
My friends are all the guys that we did that big Cedar trip with.
There you go.
So we all stay pretty tight. But again, it's a small crew, handful of guys.
It's all like it's all group chats now. Like
Yeah.
the guys that I was close to, that's all that it is. And we'll see each other occasionally, but like people don't get together anymore, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm obviously like way closer with my boys from my high school and one like right across the street from our childhood home, St. Louis, all that.
Right.
Than I am like even my prep school guys. 'Cause everybody goes their different direction. Everybody was boarding school. You're from different towns.
True.
You don't really see each other. Whereas now, like the crew that I did that big Cedar trip with a month ago, it's like those are my best friends from 4th grade. You know,
Right.
That kind of crew.
Wow.
Heartwarming show.
Yeah.
Trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. We're all from so many like such different places. You don't know.
All different.
We all have a full history. Each one of us.
And weird. Every person you pass has a full history.
Everybody.
We had this clip in a Breaking 90, not Breaking 90, of Barstool Golfs with Rico. I said Miss Reed, 2nd grade teacher. It's like a fucking dumb joke when you miss a putt.
Yeah.
And then we went on talking about it. And I said I was in 2nd grade, but I was actually in 6th grade. I just kept going with the joke. In 6th grade, I used to go in. There was a teacher. I'm not going to say her name. But she had big
Boobs.
boobs.
Oh.
In 6th grade, you're obviously like you're
Starting
looking
to
at
get
that
fired up
stuff
about
for
it.
sure.
Notable.
In the clip, I said second. Everyone's like, "That's sick." That's sick.
You're 8 years old.
I think even like my parents were like, "That's sick."
on Miss Jones.
So we would go in. I would actually go into the room, and I remember it was earth science, and it was in the corner, and wind would fucking whip into that. So every time you open the windows in the winter or the fall, it would freeze that place up. I used to get in there early.
Oh boy.
And fucking open up the windows just to get the pokies on, just turn
No,
the headlights
you
on.
didn't.
Swear
That
it was,
is sick.
It was
What?
premeditated.
Even in 6th grade,
it was
that's sick.
premeditated to like, because we knew that it affected it. It was
That's,
like
that is sick.
it was nuts.
I think that makes my dancing comment fine.
I think we're all
you're in
right.
the clear.
I think
I
I'm
think you're
fine
in the
now.
clear.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you got a little sicko in you. You got a sick.
That's an insane move. Your guys' hormones must have been out of control.
What I was actually gonna.
bro, you're starting like dances, like you're going to 6th grade.
6th grade is when it starts.
6th grade dances, and you're in the grind line.
Yeah.
You
That's
kidding
when,
me?
you, that's when you
line?
start getting the.
Bro, the grind line, you're fucking.
You didn't get the grind.
no.
With the little fucking,
listen.
I'm like that little. You ever see that fucking kid at the soccer game where he's like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we grinded
You know?
with the best of us,
Fuck,
but we
dude.
didn't have there wasn't a grind line.
Yeah, it's trained.
yeah, dude, it would be rec night, and there'd be like, you know, there's a room where they'd have like you'd play basketball and then whatever, and then you'd go in like the cafeteria, the lights would be off, and they'd have like a little DJ, and then people would get in the corner and they just fucking grind, and then you'd get fucking separated. But the grind lines were insane,
I'm saying, we would grind, but we wouldn't have lines.
bro. It would be like 7 or 8 people in a row, and you just fucking.
You gotta stop doing that motion.
No, that was the best. 6th grade, up through like sophomore, like all the way through. You're like, this dance, I'm just gonna grind my dick off.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And it's gonna be awesome.
You're like horned up the whole night.
Oh, yeah.
Grind.
Now we're really talking high school.
We in 7th grade, 8th grade, we'd do like, you get every wall dance. You ever get a wall dance?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are bad.
I don't know if I got them. I used to look at them.
Standing up against a wall.
Yeah,
Or
remember,
basically
I
a
was,
lap
I was
dance
even
for-
more pathetic than I am now in 6th grade. So it's
More of a viewing experience.
I mean, in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, the girls weren't looking towards the kid that looked like he was in 2nd. That's not what was happening. I think they were looking more towards like what's actually happening above us.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
all those like there was all those kids that looked like they were 30 when they were fucking
Yeah.
like 9.
Man.
Yeah, the wall dance was basically just like a paid lap dance,
Yeah.
but for free.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Pushing you into the fucking drywall. You're like poking holes into it.
Yep.
It's also when I would first start smoking weed, and you would start to go to these. You'd go to these places now, really stoned, and it changed everything in like a weird way. You just like walk in, and you're like, I think everybody knows.
Yeah.
Scary times.
It definitely opens
One
your eyes.
kid had a party at a house. The whole entire school went there, and it wasn't his house. It was somebody else's. It was
Did
a
he get in
random
trouble?
house. Oh my god, it was unbelievable. Just thinking back to just like the dumb shit that people do.
I'm proud to say that I was the party house at my high school.
Your parents
You
were
were
cool,
the one.
cool parents?
Yeah, they weren't cool. They would go away on these trips, and I actually lived right by the school. It was like right across the street, basically. There's a baseball field, and then there's the school, and we lived right next to the baseball stadium or the baseball field. And what we would do, the reason why it made sense was because parties would always get caught when there'd be so many cars out front. And all we would do is we created a shuttle system where we would
great.
shuttle people down. They'd park in the school parking lot, and we'd shuttle people up. So it would look like there was nobody there.
Smart.
And we would just throw ragers. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
That's fun to have the party house.
That was one of them. There were a few, but I was definitely one of them.
We had some functions out in that back area where we did the podcast.
Oh, I'm sure.
You have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Those are functions,
Yeah, we
not
had
parties.
We had
Functions.
we had some functions out there.
Black tie galas back.
Events.
Valet.
Fuck,
there was
dude.
We kind of ran a valet.
We would have
was
people
my
go
high
around
school
the
job,
side, so they wouldn't
valet.
they wouldn't have to go in the house. They would just go around the back gate. It was great.
Larkin Parking, I was the valet for.
Larkin parking.
Mm-hmm. Larkin Parking.
What was my high
you
school
good
job?
valet?
Oh, yeah, I became the manager.
Nice.
But I did.
I worked in an Italian restaurant in high school. Biaggi's. Boss boy.
Welcome to Borelli's. Can I,
I
get
did.
you guys anything to
I
drink?
think I've told the story, but I did seriously damage a car. One car. Just backed into another one.
Nice car.
No, it was okay car.
Okay.
It was fine. It's probably Toyota Corolla type of car, like an Uber car. But yeah, it was late in the day. We had this parking lot. That was the valet lot. I didn't think there were any cars behind. So I just reversed it without even really looking right into another car.
That must have been a loud fuck.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's really negative. And the owner was like, we got insurance for this. Fine. It's
Yeah.
like,
I
amazing.
crashed into my wife's car the other day. I thought that the car was in park.
Really?
Nothing happened to the cars though.
No, they're fine.
I guess the car kind of stopped on its own, like a last defense. It was rolling, and it just stopped. Went beep beep beep, but I definitely hit her bumper. Never happened to me before. These new things with like the buttons you got to hit instead of having like a fucking gear.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it wasn't in park. It's a bad feeling hitting on it.
I don't like the
Yeah.
buttons, and I don't like. I was talking to Bush about this. My rental car this week doesn't have a crank for the volume. You have to fucking. It's like a touchscreen to turn the volume. Like,
dangerous.
come on, like fuck that.
No, that's shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about though. Some of these places, some of these
knobs.
cars, the knob is to turn it into park.
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
And you think it's the volume,
I've done that on this
My
minivan,
park's like
this
a
trip
flick.
like 5
It's
times.
nuts.
and it starts beeping, right?
Yeah, I put it in neutral while we're driving down the highway.
Yeah.
I thought I was just turning the volume
Like
up.
it's really dangerous. Chevy would
Imagine you
never
put
do
that into like reverse or something. It would have fucking
We would have died, I think.
the transmission just would have exploded.
Dead.
Luckily, I wasn't cranking
Will a
the
car
volume. I
go
just
into
slid it
like,
up
or will it
once.
stop it? Like if you like accidentally throw a car into park when you're driving 70 miles an hour, what will happen?
I think it's got to have mechanisms against
You got to be
that.
prepared for that, hopefully.
I would
know.
think so, but maybe not.
Newer ones, probably.
Would you? I mean, you would just die.
We got to drive coming up.
Yeah, let's
doing
try
We
it.
could just give it a try.
We're gonna drive to Erin Hills. Talk to Mike Essie. I can't wait. I'm excited to get to Erin Hills. Let's get there before sunset. We can enjoy a nice little.
It's starting to get hot in this room.
This room's hot.
How long have you been going, Bush?
Hour 25.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit!
That flew.
Good stuff.
Talking about high school, man. Time's fly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, the Lido, amazing. Ryder Cup, going to be fantastic. We're off to Erin Hills, so we'll make sure we include talking about how great Erin Hills is on the next show, but one of our favorite places, so I'm pumped to get there. Yeah, we filmed a million videos. We're going to film more. People are going to love it. And I think that's all I got. Anybody, anything else?
No. Really good golf course. Just wish it was on Long Island, but an amazing place here at Sand Valley. Sand Valley.
Sand Valley is pretty fun.
Yeah, if you want an all-time golf experience, you come here.
Yeah.
It's pretty, and I think it's reasonable to get to. You can fly.
I think it's really
You
reasonable.
can fly to Madison from a lot of places in the country.
Hour and a half?
If not, what is it from Milwaukee? Like 2 hours,
Something like that.
Chicago's like 3. So it's not as hard to get to as Bandon.
Middle of the country, too, so the flights aren't that long
And
for
that's
almost
what
anybody.
That's what BC was telling me today. Was that was one of the reasons why he moved here from Bandon. Was that when they had kids and his wife, it was just too hard to get in and out.
Yeah. Yep. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, from almost anywhere in the country, you can get here pretty reasonably.
Yeah, it's right in the middle.
Yeah, incredible spot. They're building these massive houses and cottages all over the place around these lakes. It's interesting to be at a place that's in, even though there's almost 4 golf courses here now, once the Sedge Valley opens up next year, which is another timed out course they're opening here. Like they're going to have 4.5 golf courses if you include the part 3. And it still feels like this place is in its infancy stage a little bit.
It's definitely under the radar. I feel
Yeah.
like maybe it's because like Bandon and Pinehurst have like such a dominant like force. But I mean, even Big Cedar was the same way. Where I feel like I didn't know that they had all this stuff.
Yeah. And see, when you go to Pinehurst, we love the village and how old it is. But like, that's pretty much done. Like it's been there, and whereas now when you drive, you're literally watching stuff being built.
Yeah.
They could build 10 courses out here.
Yeah.
There's so much space.
So much.
So much
space.
sand. There's a huge sand mound
I
out
still
there.
have no idea how grass grows on sand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just thought you needed soil.
It's definitely
That's
like
a really good question.
sandy. They say like sandy soil, right? It's not like pure sand. There's definitely some dirt, I think.
So I guess a ton of sand, and then they got to put some soil on top of the sand.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah. There's grass out there.
But yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
But who? What's the guy from The Martian? He grew potatoes without soil.
He used his own feces.
Matt
He used
Damon,
feces and he used Mars like sand.
botanist.
Botanist. It's a good movie.
That is a good movie because you learn so much.
Yeah, bullshit that it won the Oscar for best comedy that year.
Yeah, that
They
was
just threw
bullshit.
them.
It
They
won
just-
the Oscar for best comedy.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure.
Golden Globe.
Couldn't have been the Oscar.
Oscar doesn't have a best comedy.
Yeah, that doesn't. I don't
Golden
think that's
Globe.
what it
Oh,
is.
maybe it's a Golden
has
Globe.
best drum, best musical or comedy.
Yeah, I
Whatever
think it
that-
was a Golden Globe.
Whatever
That's
the most
silly.
renowned.
They just threw them. They threw them something
right.
Yeah.
because it
It
wasn't
is a
going to
great
win.
movie.
Great
What was
movie.
that year? What did something like sweep that year? You know?
Let's call it 2015.
Let's check it out.
That actually sounds right.
The Martian won the Golden Globe for best comedy, 2016.
Close enough.
Fucker.
Yeah, that's
He had two of those roles like right at the same time because he was the astronaut in Interstellar.
was
when they get to
nominated
that.
for 7 Academy Awards.
And 1-0.
0.
That Interstellar one comes out of nowhere.
And the Golden Globes
man.
changed the comedy rules after the controversial Martian
Had to
win.
be funny. What
I
was
guess
the,
so.
how'd they change
Had
it?
to be funny. Well, yeah, because it's a drama, right?
Yeah.
It's more lighthearted than you would think a guy getting trapped on Mars is, but it's not a comedy.
Yeah, those parts when he's talking to like the video
Yeah.
screen himself are very funny.
Right.
So it's not very, but they're funny. But yeah,
But most movies have some levity.
not.
It
called
beat
a
The
fucking-
Big Short. It beat Joy, Trainwreck. Well, I guess those aren't that.
Trainwreck was a comedy.
Spotlight won Best Picture that year.
It's a good movie.
Mad Max won 6 Academy Awards. I didn't really get that movie.
It
Mad
was
Max
fine.
won 6 Oscars.
Academy Awards.
I guess from like the
Visual.
that world that they're like, wow, and the costume and all that shit.
Yeah.
People love that stuff but I don't get it.
I never saw Spotlight.
Dunk.
No?
No.
I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
Judd Apatow wrote, trying to dominate the comedy category when you are really a drama afraid of dramatic competition is a punk move.
Ooh.
I think that's fair.
that
assessment.
out.
He's got some comedy sway. He's got some.
He had a movie out there. I think he was
Trainwreck.
Trainwreck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Good memory there. We're now in a race against the producers because I think the camera's going to die.
Oh. We lost it.
No, we just ran out of.
We lost the golf course.
Space on
All right.
there.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get the hell out
Get
of
the
this.
fuck
Room's
out
hot.
of here.
Thanks to Sand Valley. Incredible trip. Highly recommend. The videos are going to be insane. We'll be back early next week and we'll just do this bullshit again. Talk about some high school. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit hard.